Hello, welcome to today's class, which is a beginner's Hatha class. Come into a comfortable seated position and palms either facing down or upwards on the thighs or the knees, or alternatively hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Let the shoulders soften away from the ears and feel the sitting bones sinking down towards the ground. Gently pressing down through the sitting bones, lengthening the spine, lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, creating space between each bone in the spine. And as you journey inwards, settling into the body, into the present moment, starting to let go of everything that's happened leading up to this moment, and letting go of all future possibilities. Becoming connected to the present moment. Notice the sensations in the body. Become aware of any areas that feel tight, heavy, tired, or sore. And see if you can soften those areas just a little bit. Then bringing awareness to the breath. Becoming aware of your inhalation and exhalation. Noticing the ease of the breath. Beginning to lengthen and deepen the breath now. On your next breath in, fill the lungs completely until you can't breathe in anymore. And gently releasing, breathe all the way out until the lungs are empty. Again, deep breath in. Feel the belly, the ribcage, and the shoulders expanding. And on the exhalation, shoulders, ribcage, and belly moving back towards center, contracting. One more deep breath. Coming back to your normal breath. If you would like to set an intention for today's class, you can do so now, repeating to yourself 3 times. You may set your intention on something simple, like staying connected to the breath throughout the practice. Or you may set your intention on something else that feels more applicable to you today. Perhaps releasing an emotion, releasing tension in the body, releasing an event, or maybe a habit you would like to change. Whatever it is, make sure that your intention is true and valid for you today. And after repeating your intention 3 times, let it go. On your next inhalation, open the eyes, reach the arms around and up overhead. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. And we'll start moving. Come onto your hands and your knees. Hands are directly underneath the shoulders. Gently press the armpits away from the floor so you're not collapsing into the shoulders. Rotate the upper arms outwards so the soft part of the elbow is more or less facing forwards. And if you were to bend your elbows, the elbows would go backwards in space rather than out to the sides. Lift the belly towards the spine, supporting the spine. And we'll start off with a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to lift the chin, draw the chest forward, shoulders back, and lift the sitting bones towards the sky. As you exhale, reverse the movement. Round the spine, chin to chest, shoulder blades move away from each other, and tailbone tucks under. Moving with your own breath, inhaling, arching the spine, and exhaling, rounding the spine. Just beginning to loosen up the muscles surrounding the spine. Exploring how the body feels in these positions. On both movements, keep gently lifting navel to spine. Three more breaths. Inhale, come back to neutral. Flat back. Keep lifting belly to spine so you're not collapsing into the lower back. From here, we're going to extend the opposite arm and leg out and hold. Reach the back heel out away from you. Upper arm towards the ear, although that will depend on your shoulder flexibility. So just reaching up as far as you can without losing upper abdominal engagement. Keep pressing down through the palm of the grounded hand, pressing the armpit away from the floor. One more breath, and then gently release down. Change to the other side. Trying to keep the hips and the shoulders level. Two more breaths. And then release back down. Okay, let's make circles around the wrists, just a few circles in each direction. And then changing directions. Your circles can be small or big. Okay, come back to center. Again, reset the hands. Rotate the upper arms outwards. Press down through the palm of the hand so there's no space between the hand and the mat. Step the feet back into a plank position, so shoulders are directly over the wrists, hips in line between the ears, shoulders, and ankles. Then, coming into downward facing dog, lift the hips, press the chest back. Keep lengthening the spine. Lift the sitting bones up away from the hands and the feet whilst grounding down through palms of the hands and reaching the heels towards the floor. Try not to lose the length through the spine as you do this. Focus is on lengthening the spine. Again, rotate the upper arms outwards. Soften the shoulders down the back away from the ears. Press the chest towards the thighs. Roll the thighs gently in towards each other and then back away from the belly. Option to pedal out the legs, bending one leg and straightening the other. Just a few more breaths here. And then inhale, shift your weight forward into a plank once again. Lower the knees down to the ground. Again, rotate the upper arms outwards. Bend the elbows and have the elbows in close to the body as you lower your chest down between your hands. Gaze forward, chin to the floor. Press the hips down, tops of the feet into the floor. Roll the shoulders back and inhale, peel the chest up off the floor. Keep drawing shoulders down the back and shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale to release, tuck the toes under, push the floor away, downward facing dog. In your next inhalation, walk the hands back towards the feet. And exhale to fall forwards. Knees are soft and head is relaxed. Hands to elbows. Let the upper body hang, maybe swaying around the legs. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, raise the arms up over the head. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Ground the feet down. So pressing the feet into the floor. Press down through the heel, the ball of the foot, and the outside edge of the foot. Lift the inner arches of the feet. As you exhale, bend the knees, fall forward from the hips. Take one breath. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine, half forward fold. Shoulders draw back. Next exhalation, fall forwards. Inhale to walk the hands forwards to the front of the mat. And then exhale, knees, chin, chest, lower down. Press the hips down, feet down, shoulders roll back. Inhale, lift the chest. Very light pressure through the hands. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes under, press the floor away, and come into downward facing dog. So the knees are always at least a little bit bent in the downward facing dog or any forward fold. The legs are never completely straight, just to protect the knee joints. Take 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, walk the hands back towards the feet. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Heel toe the feet together, big toes touching. Gently lift the kneecaps up towards the hips. Imagine pressing down into the ground from the outsides of the hips all the way down to the outsides of the feet. From the insides of the feet, lift the inner arches all the way up to the groin. Gently engage abdominals, pelvic floor, and then inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers, index fingers, pointing straight up. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Draw the upper arms towards the ears. Imagine that your ears are glued to your biceps. And then keeping the hips and shoulders facing forwards. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, side bend to the right. Press the hips towards the left and ground down through the left leg. Breathe into the left side of the rib cage. Feel the expansion and the contraction of the breath. 2 more breaths here. Inhale to come back up, reset, and then exhale over to the left. Press the hips to the right. Try to keep hips and shoulders facing forwards. There will be a tendency for the shoulders to roll down towards the floor. Keep working to open up the side body. Stay connected to your breath. 1 more breath here. Inhale to rise. Exhale, release the hands. Okay. From here, let's go into a little bit of balancing. Ground down through the right leg. Pick up the left foot and place the foot against the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh, but avoid any pressure on the knee. If you're having trouble with balancing, you can have the toes tapping down to the floor like a little side stand. So find the level that's appropriate to you. Then engage your right glutes so that you're not hanging out in the hips, in the hip joints. Press your foot into your leg and your leg back into your foot, and you'll feel the inner thigh muscles engage, the adductors. Hands to hips or hands to heart. Alternatively, reaching hands straight up, hands together, or hands apart. Focusing on one point that doesn't move around. Three more breaths. So for each pose today, we'll be holding for approximately 5 breaths. Bring the hands together, hands down to heart center, release your left leg. Change to the other side. As you open your knee out to the side, try and keep your hips to face forward instead of opening your knee so wide that your hips and shoulders are facing a different direction. Or maybe just the hips are facing a different direction. Okay, ground down. Feel the strength as you press down into the floor. Feel the crown of the head lifting up, lengthening the spine. Bringing your arms into any position that feels suitable for you. 3 more breaths here. And then exhale, bring hands back down to heart center, release your foot. Shake out the legs. From here, take a big step forward with your right leg. Open your hips and shoulders to face the long edge of your mat. Front heel should be in line with either the instep or the inner arch or the heel of the back foot. If you find that you don't have balance here, you can step your back foot even further out so you have a wider base of support. Okay, press your feet out away from each other as though you want to rip your mat in half. Lift the kneecaps up towards the hips to engage your quadriceps, and then bend the front knee coming over the ankle. Check that your shoulders are directly over your hips, that you're not leaning forwards. Then reach the arms out, arms parallel to the floor. Gazing down the right arm towards your fingertips. Keep gently lifting belly towards the spine. So you're not trying to suck the tummy in as much as you can, it's more an activation. So the same as when you cough. That same muscle activation, that tightening. Last breath here. And then coming into triangle pose. Straighten out the front leg. Again, lift the kneecaps, press the feet out. Hinging from the hips, drop the right hip towards the floor, the left hip reaches up, and then diving forwards, reaching as far forwards as you can. Engage your abdominals, and then right hand to the right leg, wherever it reaches. You don't have to touch the floor. Left arm opens up towards the sky, either looking up towards your fingers or down towards the big toe, depending on how your neck feels. 2 more breaths. And on your next inhalation, rise up. Exhale, step forward, and we'll change Step the right leg back. Coming into warrior two on the left side. Hips and shoulders facing the long edge of the mat. Bend the left knee. Make sure that the back foot is pressing flat into the floor. So you're not rolling onto the inside of the inner edge of the foot. You're grounding down through the outside edge of the foot as well. Okay, left knee over left ankle. Shoulders over hips, abdominals engaged, arms reach out. Imagine trying to stretch the fingertips out as far away from each other as you can. And at the same time, imagine holding an egg between the shoulder blades. So draw the shoulder blades in towards each other. Check that your right thigh and knee are pointing straight ahead in line with your second and third toes, so that the knee is not collapsing towards the midline of the body. One more breath. Straighten out the left leg, lift the kneecaps, drop the left hip down, lift the right hip up, dive forwards, left arm comes down and right arm up. And then either looking towards the big toe or up towards your hand. Feeling the work through the side body, maybe through the inner thighs as well. One more breath. And as you inhale, rise up. And we'll stay here. Turn your left foot toes inwards. Okay, so the outer edges of the feet are parallel or maybe turning a little bit inwards. Again, press the feet out away from each other. Tilt the pelvis so that the pubic bone lifts up towards the navel and the lower back lengthens. Lift the kneecaps towards the hips to activate the quadriceps. Then interlace the hands behind the back. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other and slide the shoulders down the back away from the ears. Ribs in. Belly to spine. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, lift the chest, and then exhale, fold forward. Press the arms away from the back and lengthen the spine. Keep reaching the crown of the head and the sitting bones away from each other. So maybe you only get about halfway, that's fine. So wherever you're feeling stretch, you should be feeling stretch in the legs, maybe feel release in the back, and maybe stretch through the front of the shoulders. Maybe you can fold further forwards, but again, make sure that there is no rounding through the spine. Keep lengthening. Try to keep the palms of the hands together. Okay, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release the hands, hands to hips. Bend the knees, and then inhale, stand all the way up. Heel toe feet together. And then shake out the legs. Facing forwards. Okay, so we're going to come to the front of the mat. Step the right leg back. Big step back. Toes backwards, toes facing forwards, and the heel is lifted. Left knee directly over the ankle. If the back knee is lifted up off the floor, imagine a beach ball underneath the back thigh, lifting the thigh away from the floor, and a sack of cement pressing down through the front thigh. From here, let's inhale, reach the arms up. Equal weight distribution through the legs. Soften the shoulders. Stay connected to the breath. Check that your right glutes are switched on. And think about lifting the pubic bone up towards the navel. So you're creating as much space between the belly and the thigh as you can. Let's add in a side bend. Bring the left hand down towards the floor and exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Press down through the right hand. Inhale, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Gazing up towards your fingers. And if you have pain in the neck, then just looking towards the left side. Make sure that your left knee stays over the ankle and you're pressing right armpit away from the floor. Exhale to lower down. Okay, let's step front leg back, downward facing dog. Step right leg forward. And coming into a lunge on the other side. Remember, you have option to have the knee down on the floor. Just taking a few moments to set up, to check your alignment. Ankle, knee, shoulder, stacking above each other. Whether your back knee is down on the floor or the back knee is lifted, squeeze the left thumb. Lift the belly and lengthen the spine. Equal weight distribution through the legs, and then inhale, reach the arms up. Just taking a couple more breaths here. And then exhale, right arm down, side bend to the right. On your next inhalation, come back to center. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Ground down through the left arm. Press the armpit away from the floor. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Right knee still over the ankle. Two more breaths. And then exhale, right hand down. Step the right leg back. Downward facing dog. And then bring the knees down to the floor. Sitting up, and we'll come into gate pose. So knees directly underneath the hips. And let's start with bringing right leg out to the side. Okay, so you can have the toes facing up, toes out, or toes facing forwards. But wherever you are, make sure that your knee, your hip, and your left shoulder are all stacked. Press the hips forward, lift the pubic bone towards the navel, and then inhale, left arm reaches up. Soften the shoulder away from the ear, and then exhale, side bend to the right. You can also use a block, but I just don't have one handy. So the right hand is just resting, you're not pushing your weight of the upper body into the leg. Look up towards your left hand. Inhale, sweep the arm around and back, and exhale forwards. 3 circles, 3 breaths. And then inhale to come all the way up. Exhale, release left arm down. Step the right leg in. And change to the other side. Again, press the hips forwards. No bend in the hips. Inhale, right arm rises. Exhale, side bend to the other side. Okay, looking up towards the hands, keep pressing the hips forward, spine bends, and then inhale, right arm reaches around behind, exhale, forwards in front, 3 circles. Decompressing the shoulder joints, and getting some movement through the neck as well. Inhale to rise up all the way, exhale, release right hand down, and step your left leg back in. Okay, from here, let's come down to the floor, onto hands and knees. Down facing dog, and we'll come into pigeon. So we'll start on the right side. You can actually stay on hands and knees if you prefer, rather than downward facing dog. I'll show both ways. So either case, we're going to bring the right knee to just behind the right wrist, and then walk the foot, the right foot over towards the left hip, and then walk the left leg back. If from downward facing dog, same thing. And just look behind your left shoulder. Make sure that the left leg is in a straight line behind you. Try to keep the hips facing forwards so that you're not rolling over onto the right hip or right thigh. Okay, so instead of the hips facing or deviating from straight ahead, we want to keep the hips facing forwards. Imagine that there's headlights coming out from your hips. You want to see where you're going. Okay, and then walk the hands forwards. Bring the forearms down to the floor. You have option to stack the hands and then rest your head on your hands. Alternatively, you can walk the hands out. Maybe head comes down to the floor. Wherever you are, keep lifting the belly. And then try to keep your hips as level as you can. Think about the left hip drawing forward and the right hip back. And we'll just take a few more breaths. On your next inhalation, press the hands into the floor, walk the hands in, lift the back knee up off the floor, and then step back to all fours or downward facing dog. And you can just release the hips, moving in any way that feels good. And then changing to the other side. Left knee to left wrist, left ankle towards right hip. Now, the further forward that you bring your ankle, the deeper the stretch through the hip. So find the appropriate point for you. If you brought your ankle too far forward and it's really intense, just bring the ankle back and find a more suitable position. The right leg walking back. And then once you're happy with your alignment, then you can bring the arms down to the floor. Feel the stretch through the left hip. It's quite a deep stretch and it may be very intense depending on how tight your hips are. If your hips are pretty flexible and open, then maybe not so much of a stretch here. But for most people feel a pretty good stretch. Okay, start pressing the hands into the floor, walking the hands back in. Lift up the back knee and then step back, either onto all fours or downward facing dog. Alright, and then come lie down flat on your belly. Head down towards the floor and bring the hands to the lower ribs. Elbows are making approximately 90-degree bend and have the elbows in towards the ribs. Shoulders down away from the ears and shoulder blades retracting. So shoulder blades are reaching towards each other. Gaze down towards the floor. Then tilt the pelvis, press the pubic bone into the floor, activating the glutes, the bum muscles. Press the tops of the feet into the floor to activate the thighs, the front of the thighs, the quadriceps. From here, inhale, hands, head and chest lift up off the floor. Make sure the hands are off the floor. Keep drawing shoulder blades towards each other. Press the feet and the hips down. 2 more breaths. This is cobra preparation. Exhale, release down. Bring one ear to the floor. And let the hands rest by the sides. Come back into cobra preparation. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Press the hips into the floor. Inhale, hover hands, head, chest. Then exhale, bring hands to the floor, but don't push hands into the floor to lift up. Rather, draw the hands backwards to lift the chest further forwards. Keep drawing shoulders back and down, and then maybe lift a little bit higher, pressing hands a little bit into the floor, but not straightening the arms completely. There should be no pain in the lower back. If there is, then just lower down until you come to a point where there is no pain in the lower back. One more breath. And then exhale, release, other ear to the floor. And hands by your sides. The last prone position, lying on belly. Interlace the hands behind the back, and this time go for the uncomfortable position. Draw the shoulders back and down away from the ears. Zip the legs together, and then keeping the legs straight, lifting up the head, the chest, and the legs. Coming into locust, savasana. Back of the neck is free of wrinkles, so just looking a little bit in front of the mat. Exhale to release down.
And then start making your way up to seated. Ground down through the sitting bones. Bend the knees, feet flat on the floor. Lift the chest and roll the shoulders back. Preparing for boat pose.
Engage the abdominals. And then starting with hands underneath the thighs, start leaning back until the feet float up off the floor. Then shins parallel to the floor. Keep lifting the chest. If this is easy, then you can reach one hand forward or maybe both hands forwards. If it's still easy, straighten up one leg or both legs. Boat pose, Navasana. Keep lifting the chest. No rounding through the spine. 2 more breaths. And then exhale, feet down to the floor, open the knees out to the side, and walk the hands forwards. If this is pretty intense, you can have hands behind the lower back and gently press the chest forwards. Another option, you can press elbows into the thighs. So if you look more like this, then that's fine. Just work on opening gently through the thighs, opening the hips. Inhale to lift up. Okay, bring the legs together. Straighten out right leg and let's cross left foot over right. Or actually bring the ankle in towards the hip. Okay, so if you're sitting here and your one hip is lifting up off the floor, just use a block or a cushion to place underneath the hips, and that will raise your hips up to make this position more comfortable and your hips level. Okay, so from here you can either keep your right leg straight or you can bring the ankle towards the hips. Then reaching left hand up towards the sky, right arm out, thumb down. Bend the elbows and reach the hands towards each other. If you can't find your hands, Then just hold onto your shirt, or if you have your hair long, maybe you can hold onto your hair. Wherever you are, left elbow trying to point up towards the sky. Be careful with your shoulders here. Taking a few more breaths here in cow face pose, Gomukhasana. And then gently releasing the hands. Let's roll the shoulders out. Just a couple of circles in each direction. Okay. And then release the legs. Pick the leg up. And we'll go to the other side. So left leg out straight, right leg crosses over left, ankle to hip. Knees more or less pointing forwards-ish. Either the left leg stays straight, or you're able to bend the knee. If not, no problem. It doesn't mean that you're doing any less. You're just respecting the limits of the body as it is today. Right hand up, left arm thumb down, out to the side. Bend the elbows and see if you can find the hands. During the practice today, perhaps you noticed differences between the left and the right side of the body, or between the front and back of the body, or between the upper and lower body. So just becoming aware of which side of the body seems to be holding more tension, which side is tighter. Last breath here. And then gently to release. Slowly release the legs. Okay. And then let's go again, right leg out straight. This time, cross left ankle over the right thigh and bring the ankle in towards, the foot in towards the hips, but the foot flat on the ground, and knee more or less pointing upwards. Ground down through the sitting bones and lengthen the spine. And then you can keep the right leg out straight, or you can bring ankle to hip. But in either case, we're going to lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, turn from the waist, and then the shoulders, and then the neck. Wrap your right arm around the left knee, and press left hand into the floor, just behind the lower back, to keep the lengthening spine. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale. Maybe you can twist a little bit deeper, but not using your arms to initiate the twist. The twist comes from the torso, from the abdominals. Another option for the arm, you can bring the upper arm over the thigh and press the elbow towards the knee. Try to bring the knee towards the armpit. Gently to release, turn back to center, change the legs. Ground down through the sitting bones and press the foot flat. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, rotate towards the front leg from the waist, shoulders, and then the neck. Wrap the arm around the left arm and press right fingertips into the floor, lengthening the spine. On your next inhalation, gently release. Okay, and then let's bring soles of the feet together one more time. Bring the ankles in close towards your hips. And then sitting tall, option hands behind the back and gently pressing forwards. If you have the space, then you can walk the hands forwards, folding further forwards, and maybe bringing head down towards the floor. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to fold. One more time. Walk the hands in. This time, rounding the back, bridge into the chest, draw the ribs back, belly to spine, and then fold forwards. As you inhale, lifting back up, walk the hands in, knees together, and then make your way towards the front of the mat. Knees are bent, feet flat, reach the hands forwards, and slowly roll down the spine, one bone at a time, using the abdominals to safely take you there, nice and slowly. Once you're down on the floor, bend the knees and bring the knees in towards the chest. Hugging the thighs in towards the belly, compressing the abdominals, the digestive organs, and the reproductive organs. Think about lengthening the spine, trying to press the tailbone, the lower back, middle back, upper back, and the back of the neck into the floor. And then gently rock side to side, releasing any tension that may have built up in the lower back through the practice. And then release the legs and stretch the legs out. Coming into final relaxation. Savasana, corpse pose. Feet roll outwards, relaxing the thigh bone and the hip joints. Shoulder blades are flat underneath the rib cage. Palms facing upwards, relaxing the upper arm in the shoulder joints. Eyes closed. Feel the left side of the body symmetrical to the right side of the body. And with each breath out, feel the whole body becoming softer and heavier, sinking down into the mat. And then taking a deep breath in through the nostrils, filling the belly, filling the lungs. And exhaling, releasing all the way out. Becoming aware of your body lying on the floor. On your next inhalation, start to move the toes, feet, and then exhaling, moving the hands. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Nice big stretch. And then exhale, roll over onto your side. Gently press the floor away to come back up to seated. Coming to comfortable seated position with the eyes closed. Bring palms of the hands together to the heart center and take a moment to reflect on the practice today. Taking note of what felt good for the body and what felt good for the mind. If there was anything that did not feel good, becoming aware of what felt challenging, what felt easy, and then becoming aware of all the space created, both physically and mentally. Finally, bringing awareness back to the intention that you set at the beginning of the class. Taking all of this beautiful energy and space with you into the rest of the day and into the coming days. As you inhale, sweep the arms around and up overhead, blinking the eyes open, looking at the hands. Exhale, bring hands down to heart center. Thank you for joining today. Namaste.